Welcome back to tjseasyguitar.com, lesson 4. Hopefully you've gone through the last 3 and you're slowly building up dexterity in your hand, strength in your hand, calluses on your fingertips. Again, if you're playing an acoustic and you're finding it hard and it's something you still want to try to get through, grab an electric. They're a lot easier on pushing to start off, and then you can move up into an acoustic. But it is all about technique and building strength in your hand and calluses. So the last exercise we did E minor to A sus. Hopefully you watched it so you learn that we're just lifting and placing fingers. We have to teach our fingers just to move and not our hand to be doing crazy things like this all the time. Especially when we're just playing chords. We should be able to just move our fingers. So the next main exercise would be getting from an E minor again, 2, 3, 4, and then coming down to an A7. So basically what we're doing is splitting these two fingers. And all these changes I've come up with because it works well to slowly teach your hand to get into these diagonal shapes, and I've got all kinds of methods to help you get from like C's to G's and D's to G's. And at the end of these 5 or 6 chord progression videos, there is a song at the end for anybody who's just starting out that you can try and work your way through. So the next exercise would be E minor to A7, and the first thing you want to do is maybe just try to lift and place fingers. You can see that I'm splitting these two as I move down. Finger 1 moves down to string 4, while finger 2 moves down to string 2, fret 2. And a fret is the distance from here to the shiny wire. That's your fret wire, and all that wood between there is the first fret. The wood below these strings. This would be your second fret. So E minor to an A7 chord. If you're finding it hard to do that, then work it a little bit. Don't forget about, putting your thumb on the back of the neck, having a relaxed forearm. Pushing forward with your arm like that and making your wrist bend and not keeping it like, oh, I gotta push it, right? And so we just push our hand like that, nice and relaxed, and we bring our hand up and we curl our fingertips into the strings. You know from the last videos that we don't want to sit on our strings like that. We want to sit more like that. So working that for a little bit, you can even count in 4s like we did on the last one, going 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2. Now you get that going pretty good where you don't have to kind of stop and get your fingers to land right. Then we can start strumming, and we want to strum lightly, softly down our strings using our wrist, and just nice, I call it just sweeping the dust off your strings, right? 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3. That one I'm strumming from the 5th string down. 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Why I'm doing that is so that you could practice playing in time with me, because students will come in and say, oh, I could do it perfect at home, how come I can't do it perfect when I'm here? Well, because what I studied from the age of 8 until now, we won't talk about how old I am now, but I've always had one of these guys on and working in studios, so it teaches you that you have to stay in time. For example, if you wanted to know if you were doing it very well, you would have this on because it keeps the spacings even between each beep that you hear. So it's not like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. It's more steady, like a little hand on a clock. 4, 1, 2. Now that's really hard to get, so you want to develop it early while you're just doing down strums and learning some basic chords. So let's try it a little bit. I'm going to slow it down even more, and what we'll do is we'll count in 4s 2 times on each chord. So counting the 4 here, so a total of 8, but we're going to count to 4 and then start back at 1 and count to 4 again. So usually when I start, it'd be something like 1, 2, 3. I'm going to go as slow as this can. 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3. That's the idea. And oh, you should be able to tap your foot. Your foot's up and comes down when your pick goes down. And 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3. Couple more times. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 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 and 1. Nice work if you made it through it. The other thing is tapping your foot with a metronome. So I noticed you can have a real hard time getting your foot working in the right way if you teach your body to do everything in, different ways. So you want to start off just tapping down on the floor every time that beeps. So obviously your foot's up before 1, and you're 1, 2, and you keep your foot going. And that helps with everything. So that's the big part of practicing is with this. But first you want to get familiar by using your fingers and getting them to work, learning how to use your pick a bit, and then when you can finally do these slowly by yourself, tapping your foot and counting 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, something like that. 4 and 1. If you can do it 5 times, cycle this through 5 times, that's great. So that's once, this will be twice. 2, 3, 4, tapping your foot, counting out loud. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2. Make sure you're counting out loud, pushing hard with your thumb on the back. 1, fingers on the front. 2, 3, 4. This is our third one. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2. And we're doing A7s. 4 and A7, 2. So that's the one I wanted you to work on. 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4, and back again. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1. So that's basically the exercise. Getting good at E minors to A7s. And 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1. Now the other great thing about E minors to A sus and E minors to A7 is that we can work in fingers 2 and 3 instead of using 1 and 2. 1, 2, thumb don't count, 2 and 3. So try to get those working. And you'll see that it's just going to take a bit for them to understand how to sit on the strings. And well, you do the same exercises that we did before, going from your E minor to your A sus. Work them lots. E minor to A7. Work them lots. If you feel really brave, then use fingers 3 and 4. Because now we're setting you up for power chords, for rock chords, for things like